أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. We're going to be reading Surah Al-Kahf, Surah 18, and this will be verse number 30. That's where we stop. إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات إنا لا نضيع أجر من أحسن عملا أولئك لهم جنات عدن تجري من تحتهم الأنهار يحلون فيها من أساور من ذهب ويلبسون ثيابا خضرا من سندس واستبرق متكئين فيها على الأرائك نعم الثواب وحسنت مرتفقا واضرب لهم مثل الرجلين جعلنا لأحدهما جنتين من أعناب وحففناهما بنخل وجعلنا بينهما زرعا كلتا الجنتين آتت أكلها ولم تظلم منه شيئا وفجرنا خلالهما نهرا. Go ahead, read the translation.
As for those who believe and do righteous deeds, of course, we do not waste the reward of those who are good in deeds. Those are the ones for whom there are eternal gardens, rivers flowing beneath them. They will be adorned therein with bracelets of gold, and they will be dressed in green garments, made of fine silk and thick silk, reclining therein on couches. Excellent is the reward, and beautiful is the paradise as a resting place. Give them an example. There were two men. We gave one of them 2 gardens of grapes, and surrounded both of them with date palms, and placed vegetation between them. Both the gardens brought forth their fruit, and suppressed nothing from it, and we caused a stream to flow through them.
Great. Jazakallah khair. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man walahu wa ba'd. These verses came right after the verses that spoke about what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prepared for the zalimeen, for the transgressors. And this is a very common way in the Quran that He bring the punishment, or what Allah prepared as a form of punishment for the transgressors, for the disbelievers, and the reward for the believers. So He explained what kind of punishment waiting for the disbelievers, and now He is telling the believers what's waiting for them. And He said, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ Indeed, or verily, as for those who believed and did righteous deeds. And this is a common thing in the Quran. Always Allah combine between the belief and the good, doing the good deeds. Not because they are different from each other, no, but because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to emphasize on the importance of actions. That beliefs must be translated to actions. Al-Iman لا يمكن أن يتصور بدون عمل صالح. It's impossible to imagine a belief without good deeds. And here when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ They did righteous, they believe and did righteous deeds. Righteous deeds. عَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ The righteousness here means that how we consider this deed is righteous or not. Can anybody tell me? Yes. First, for Allah told us it's righteous. So it means it's something that Allah, either in the Quran or the Prophet ﷺ in the Sunnah, told us it's righteous. So that means it has to be done according to the deen, to the religion of Muhammad ﷺ, to the religion of Islam. And also, in order for this to be a righteous deed, it has to be done sincerely for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Otherwise, if you're doing it for other than Allah, for worldly materials or for worldly reward, is not considered amal salih, righteous deeds. That's why al-ulama rahimahullah said the righteous deeds what has fulfill two conditions. Number one, sincerity. Number two, al-mutaba'a, that you follow the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and it's done according to the sharia of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying about as-salihat, ism jins, the righteous deeds, which it basically cover all type of righteous deeds, all type of good deeds that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have ordained for us, have encouraged us to do. وَمِن طَبِيعَةِ الْمُؤْمِنِ, one of the nature of the believers, that they care to do as much as they can from the good deeds. This Jannah, this reward in paradise, waiting for those who cares about doing that good deeds, any type of good deeds, any opportunity that they have, that they will rush to it. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ إِنَّا لَا نُضِيعُ أَجْرَ مَنْ أَحْسَنَ عَمَلًا. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala making here an emphasis by saying that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shall not make the reward of anyone who does this righteous deeds in the most perfect manner to be lost. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that this is not just righteous deeds, it's done in the best perfect manner, in the most perfect manner. من أحسن عملا. إذن ليس قضية صالح بل أصلح. The point here is not just a righteous deeds, no, it is the most righteous deeds. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said they have done it in the perfect manner, the best manner. And that shows you that the mu'min should do his ihsan, which it means perfection. Try your best to do things in the best way, on the perfect way. And those are the one who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala indeed will reward them in the day of judgment. And here, if you look, anybody here knows what the word mu'akkid means? Mu'akkidat, tawkid, huruf al-tawkid in Arabic language. Emphasize. Okay? Emphasize, which it means Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make an emphasis in this verse on something. Can you tell me from this sentence how many emphasis in this sentence? How many assurance Allah give in this verse? Inna alladhina, the beginning, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, indeed, verily. Inna alladhina amanu wa amilu salihat. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inna la nudhi, indeed we will not. So another time he said, indeed, verily we will not. So that's number two. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, inna la nudhi'u ajra man ahsana amala. Ulaika lahum jannat, the next verse. Those, basically Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, these for them will be. These in Arabic language, ulaika, also harf tawkid, هذه الإشارة للتوكيد. Okay? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, for them, lahum. For them, that's another emphasis. توكيد آخر. lahum. أيضا من تحتهم. Underneath of them. So every time if you look at these two verses, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala referring to those who done the good deeds, that all this kind of reward will be given to them. Why? To make sure that they feel comfortable in this dunya, they feel certain in this dunya, and also to yaghidul kafirin, to tease or to make the kuffar feel left out. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, for them I made rivers, for them I made gardens, for them I'm doing this and I'm doing that. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying for them, for them, for them, the kuffar feel that just one verse ago, Allah said for the kuffar there is a blazing water. For the kuffar there is a boiling, there is a fire, there is like all this kind of punishment. But in the other hand, for them, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keeps saying that this is made for them, made for them, made for them, made for them. All this emphasis is just to show how much Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala appreciate what the believer and how much Allah loves the believer, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will definitely reward the believers. And He said, أولئك, the word أولئك, those. ليش ترجمها these? Here in my translation, these for them. I don't know why these. It should be those, that's right. Those, أولئك, those, اسم إشارة للبعيد. Isn't it? Even in English we say. Those, يعني, when you point to something far, that's right. Those. So can you tell me why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala referring to those, to the believer with those? He didn't say them or for them. He said those. Yes. Very good. Very good. Because he elevating them. He putting them in a very high rank. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling that those people like a role model, like stars, like something you look up to. أولئك. Okay? هذا يدل على رفعة جزائهم. And also honoring them. Also shows you that their level in Jannah is very high. That Jannah is high levels, very high, various levels, and those people will be in the highest level of Jannah. طيب. أولئك لهم جنات عدن. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, those, for them, will be Aden, Eden, a paradise, everlasting garden, wherein rivers flew underneath them. تجري من تحتها الأنهار. طيب. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here in this verse saying that these rivers run underneath of them. كثير من العلماء يقولون لا أنهار الجنة ما تجري من تحتهم وإنما من تحتهم يعني من بينهم. Many of the scholars who interpret these verses that where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said rivers run underneath of them, it means in between them. Yani while you were standing, the river runs from beside you, in between the rooms, in between, and the rivers of Jannah do not have ditch. Like they don't have a canal. The rivers of Jannah are water running by itself. They have no borders to contain the water. It's completely different than the water that we have in the dunya. The water is for dunya liquid. If you don't contain it, it will go all over. No. In Jannah, it is also rivers. هي أنهار تجري لكن ليست في أخاديد يقول النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم said, the rivers of Jannah has no ukhdud, has no canal. They have no border. They have nothing to contain it. It's by itself. Where mu'min, the believers control it. It runs in your place. You want it to run this way, to go that way, to go up, to go down. It's up to you how you want to run it. That's why min tahtihim, yani under beneath of them, it means they have full control over it. They make it run it any way they want, however they want. And it's not only one river, it's rivers, many rivers. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Muhammad, verse 15, if you go back to it, Allah mentioned in this verse that there is rivers made of pure water. The rivers are made of laban, which is milk, and honey, and wine. Inshallah, in a couple of months, I will be teaching a course here in Houston. It's called Forever. And I will be talking about the description of paradise. And part of what we talk about is the rivers of Jannah and how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made them very unique. Even the Quran and the Sunnah speak about these rivers, that the rivers smell like musk. And the basically, if you look into the bottom of the river, usually what's in the river? You see stones, small stones, stuff like that, and dust and rivers. That's why diving in rivers is a very challenging, because it's all muddy. It's all dust. It's not like the oceans or the sea. River is quite different. But in Jannah, the dust of the river is made of musk. There's no dust. And za'faran. It's amazing how these rivers are in Jannah. Also the wells of Jannah. That's kind of also something different than just the river. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that these rivers run from underneath of them, or run between their houses, between them, however they wanted to run in paradise. And therein they will be adorned with bracelets of gold. قال يحلون فيها من أساور. Did you pay attention to the verb? Somebody tell me what's the verb and which form is the verb? يحلون. And in English, he basically adorned with. Huh? مبني للمجهول, which it means passive tense. That's right? It's like, that's what we call passive tense. That's right? Like when you say, it's been eaten, they've been dressed, they've been adorned, been given. What that means? What do you understand from this word? يحلون. Think a little bit. إيش تفهم من الفعل, من صيغة الفعل? What do you understand from the way the verb comes? Okay, I'll give you a hint. Say that again. Who dressed them is not mentioned in the verse. They will be dressed. So that means they are the one who dressing themselves these bracelets. They are the one who putting themselves on themselves the bracelets. No, يحلون, يعني they will be giving these bracelets. They will be giving these jewelry. They will be giving these type of clothes. They don't even need to bother themselves by putting it. It's like the kings are dressed up. There is somebody dressed them up, somebody taking care of them. Like, you know, when you have the bride. Okay, the bride. She doesn't put anything on everybody around her. Somebody putting this, somebody putting that, everybody dressing her up. That's right. You have a lot of teamwork to make this look so beautiful. The same thing for you in Jannah. All what you need just to wait and everybody will take care of you. You don't even need to bother yourself by purifying yourselves. Someone else will do that for you. يحلون. And this is like the kings. The kings, if you ever seen like some of these documentaries talk about the king, he just stretches his hand and everybody started putting all the stuff all over his, putting his, robe under his shoulder. That's how they treated like kings. يحلون فيها. They will be adorned. They will They will be adorned and they will be dressed. They will be given a bracelets of gold. Bracelets is just an example. Otherwise, they will be giving way more jewelry than the bracelets. Like what? Like we know from the Sunnah, some of the Ahlul Jannah, or Ahlul Jannah, they will have like what? Tijan. يدخلون الجنة يقول ابن عباس وعليهم تيجان. The people of paradise walk in paradise while they have crowns on the top of their heads. So there is another many type of jewelry that they will be giving in paradise. So here يحلون فيها من أساور. من هذه نسميها في لغة العرب من التبعيضية. They will be giving bracelets. So they will be giving a lot of jewelry. One of it is the bracelets. If you look at the verse in Arabic, it says min asawr. They will be giving, part of what they will be giving is bracelets, if I want to translate it accurately. Then min, the other min in the verse, min ذهب يسمونها بيانية. يعني تبين لك نوع هذه الإسورة. It explains to you what kind of bracelet. It is gold. Can you be giving something other than gold? Yes. So in this case, also من الأخرى قد تكون تبعيضية. But he gives the gold because it is the most expensive jewelry that people are familiar with. طيب, you might say, also here, and they will be giving a clothes. Before we go to the clothes, you might say, Sheikh, is this bracelet for men and women? The answer is yes. And you might say, how come? How come a men will be dressed in bracelets? That's not something for men. It is something, not a common thing that men desire to have bracelets and stuff like that. As a matter of fact, it's different from one culture to another. If you look in old cultures and so many other cultures, men used to have a type of bracelet, especially the most rich ones and the kings. And in our culture today, it's coming back. But instead of that, Aldo cheap bracelet that people buy for $20, no, you will have something made of gold and beautiful and really beautify the person. And since it became something very common in Jannah, it will not look something as strange or weird. Anyway, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَيَلْبَسُونَ ثِيَابًا خُضْرًا مِّن سُنْدُسٍ. Ya salam. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling us that they will be wearing green garments of sundus wa istabraq. How he translates sundus wa istabraq? He said sundus, fine silk, and istabraq, thick silk. I don't know if there is any thick silk, but thick silk. Originally, the word sundus, it is the garment that is so fine, so light, so soft that people wear it directly against the skin. That's the sundus. Al-istabraq, it's the other layer of clothes that you put above it, because it's a little bit thick and they don't want to touch, they want it to touch the skin. You got it? الاستبرق هو الشيء الغليظ الذي يكون فوق السندس. Is that clear? So they will have layers of clothes, and it is thick not because it's rough. It is thick because it's basically tailored with gold threads, if that will make sense. Okay? Gold threads. خيوط من ذهب. And it is perfectly made. So it's two layers of clothes. One against the skin, and above that one there is another layer. And these are green, but comes also in many different colors. In many different colors, as has been mentioned in other places in the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. طيب. Can you imagine now? He starts with the jewelry, then he followed it with what? With clothes. Okay, just 1 second. Question: why you think? What's the al-bayan? What's linguistically how perfect this is to start with the jewelry, then follow it with the clothes? Which one you put first? Clothes, then jewelry come next. But to the order in the Quran here, he mentioned their jewelry, then their clothes. Isn't that? You put your clothes on, then you put the jewelry. Here the Quran gives the opposite order. Why? Yes. No, the jewelry is better than clothes. But I like the way you try. Okay, yes? But what's the unique about the order? إيش السر في الترتيب? Yes. Okay, both are rewards. Very smart, mashallah. Jewelry is make you more excited. If I tell you, sister, I have, a shirt for you. Then I tell you, I have, or brother, you know what? I have a bracelet for you, a gold for you. Which one you are most likely people will be more excited about? The jewelry, not the clothes, the jewelry. Because it's more valuable. Clothes, everybody has clothes. It's not like, it's okay, fine, it's nice. But jewelry is something more expensive, more valuable than clothes. That's right? That's right? So that's why he starts with the more valuable thing. The thing that people consider the most valuable, expensive. Then he followed with the one which is less valuable. Is that clear? So that's why he starts with the thing that get people attention quicker. He said, hey, we have a competition. First, get like a jewelry, like a diamond ring. Oh, everybody gets attention, So here you get the jewelry, you get people attention more than the clothes. لأن التعلق بالذهب وبالحلي أعظم في النفوس من الملابس. Also here, When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that they will have silk, this is one type. وَإِلَّا فِي أَنْوَاعٍ كَثِيرًا. They will have a lot of different clothes, a lot of different colors, as said earlier. You might say, Sheikh, why Al-Quran care for mentioning clothes and jewelry? You today in 21st century, here in this masjid, maybe this will not get your best attention, that's right. That's what, like, oh, I'm excited to go to Jannah. You might, you know what, I have jewelry, I have good clothes. It's not the most exciting thing, that's right. I would assume some will say that. But why Quran mention it? Remember, this verse, where it was revealed, remember the story behind Surah Al-Kahf? Remember what the kuffar said about the believers. They said the believers, they are dirty. The believers, poor. The believers, you can't sit with them in the same place. They smell bad. They look bad. They dress bad. They don't have money to be well dressed or to dress like us. You know, those kuffar comes to the Prophet ﷺ with their garments, with their jewelry, with their golds. And while the Suhaib and Bilal and Ammar ibn Yasir and Abu Bakr radiallahu anh are very, some are poor and Abu Bakr is very moderate. You know, there is no fancy life. While these disbelievers, Abu Jahl, showing off, and Abu Lahab with all their jewelry and the clothes. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling the disbelievers, those people who you're now disgusted by and you look down upon just because their clothes, in the day of judgment, they will be wearing the best of clothes. They could have given up the dunya and dressed very well, but they give up the deen, but they refused. النبي صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم دخل عليه مصعب بن عمير. Walk into Ali ibn Abi Talib reported the story. He said, while I'm sitting with the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, also the Mus'ab ibn Umayr came in. وعليه بردة, he wearing a clothes from a very cheap, bad materials. النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم صعد النظر إليه. He looked at him up and down. While Mus'ab not paying attention. Then the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam cried. Ali radiallahu anh noticed that the Prophet looked at Mus'ab and he cried. So he said, then the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, والله لقد رأيت هذا الفتى بمكة وما أطيب أعطر لمة منه. Wallahi, I have seen this young boy at one time in Mecca, the old days before he became Muslim. And no one dressed like him. He smelled good, he dressed well. Not he give up this because he doesn't want to dress well, because he doesn't have money. His family prevented all the money, kick him out. So he ended up poor. They told him, you want to be rich, you want to dress nice, leave this religion. And sometimes, wallahi, when I look to millions of Muslims today, sometimes, you know, these images of Muslims live in third world country, in Africa, but they are the people of La ilaha illallah. In villages in Pakistan or Sudan or in Bangladesh or in refugees in Syria, in Palestine, you know, in Yemen. When I see those Muslims all over the world and I see how poor they are, but still Ahl Tawheed, the people of Tawheed. Then I see the $3,000 suits. And I see the fancy and the fashions and, you know, the glory life, but people of kufr. I said, it doesn't matter. I remember this verse, that one day Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give those people who have barely something nice to wear, who wear second clothes, you know, they don't have much in this dunya. These verses very much relevant to them. Make them feel that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have something else for them. Also, I always say that this is for my sisters who so many times give up a lot of beauties to show off their beauties in public, and, you know, with all the hijab, and, you know, you can't show much with the hijab. It's all covered and wrapped up. You know, in Jannah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have this for you. That's why Aisha radiallahu anha, when she saw a group of women walking, showing their, not covered, she said, you enjoy it in this dunya and we will enjoy it in the akhirah. قال تمتعنا به في الدنيا ونحن نتمتع به في الآخرة. So these verses are very inspiring for each and every one of us when you think about it this way. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, now he told you how they so relax in the way they dress, they're well dressed. Then he said, tell you what else? They are laying down in couches. متكئين فيها على الأرائك. Ya salam. They basically, recline therein on raised thrones or couches. How good is the reward? And what an excellent murtafaqa, dwelling, resting place. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, after He explained to us that all this reward, or the way that they will be so well dressed in gold and silver. And you might say, Sheikh, isn't gold haram for men in dunya? Yes, but it is for them. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forbid it upon men in the dunya. So they will have it in the akhirah. And in this regard, An-Nabiy sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam said, and this hadith is Sahih Bukhari and Muslim, من شرب الخمر في الدنيا ثم لم يتب منها حرمها الله عليه في الآخرة في الجنة إذا دخلها. So if you drink alcohol in this dunya and you never repent from it and you enter Jannah, you will not drink from the khamr of the Jannah. And the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, وَمَنْ لَبِسَ الْحَرِيرَ فِي الدُّنْيَا لَمْ يَلْبَسْهُ فِي الْآخِرَةِ. And the one who dress with silk in this dunya among men, he will not dress silk in the akhirah. لماذا؟ لأن عندنا قاعدة من تعجل الشيء قبل أوانه باء بالخسران مع حرمانه. If you rush to have something before its proper time, Allah prevent you from it. Anyway, reclining, okay, it has many different meanings. Some said reclining means laying down, just relaxing. Some say sleeping. Some said even mutarabbi'. Mutarabbi' is like you here, Salman, or Umar, Shaykh Ibrahim, or Noura. That's basically mutarabbi', sitting like this. And the point here is relaxing. Okay? Why relaxing? Because they don't need to worry about anything. They are being served. Their servants take care of them. They don't have a concept of time. And al-arika, they said it's bed, couch. But if you look really into the root of this word, al-arika, هي في لغة العرب هي الفرش في حجال. إيش معنى كلمة حجال? I don't know if we have something in English to describe that. You guys remember seeing in documentaries or maybe some scenes talk about old days how people used to sit in beds, that it has like a dome on the top of it, and they have like curtains, huh? Like a canopy, yes, very good word, yeah, a canopy, and you have like a قماش, يعني what's like the Romans old days, they have this. القماش اللي هو إيش? What's قماش, yeah? Huh? Like cloths or fabrics, yeah, on the top, on the sides. So it's like a dome in front, in the top of it. It's like canopy, and there is like a very comfortable sitting chair or couch or bed. That's what ara'ik means. That's really what the ara'ik means. And here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling in the end how good is the reward. Ni'ma thawab. How good is the reward comparing to how bad is the punishment for the disbelievers. And what an excellent dwelling and resting forever. Also the word murtafaqa has another meaning other than the translation. Murtafaqa, it means a place where you sit and relax and dwell in. Okay? But also, murtafaqa comes from the word, anybody can guess? Rafiq, which it means companions. Can you put the two together? When it will be a very good place to dwell in, where it will be a place to rest in peace and have fun and to relax, when you have your buddies and friends with you, when you have good people around you. That's where you put me in the best place by myself, I'll get bored. That's right. Put me in the best place in the world with bad company, with annoying people, I'll get bored. That's right. But put me in any place with good people around me, I'll have fun. Cheer me up. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how can be better than Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam company? How can be better than Abu Bakr and Umar and Uthman and Aisha and Khadija and Maryam and Isa and Ibrahim? What can be better than Harun and Musa? What can be better than Adam and Eve? What can be better than, Abu Hanifa or Malik or Hafsa bint Sirin? What can be better than Ibn Taymiyyah or Shafi'i and you name it? What can be better than that? Yeah? No, it's not bad for them. You'll be better there. Okay. So, can you imagine? This is the company that you're in. وَحَسُنَتْ مُرْتَفَقًا. That's why it is so relaxing. That's why it is so beautiful, so peaceful, because of its nature and because of the company of the people that you'll have in Jannah. So the best of Jannah comes from these two sides. The word مرتفقة من أبدع ما تكون لأن تحمل معنى أكثر من مجرد الرفق والارتفاق وهو الراحة بل معنى الرفقة أيضا. Because the word رفق, it means what? Ease. That's why we call the friend what? Rafiq. Because he put you in ease. That's why anyone whose companionship or his friendship will not bring ease to you, he's not رفيق. ما سمي الرفيق إلا من الرفق لأنه يرفق بك. Very few, I know. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said after that, before we go to the next verse, here al-ulama rahimahullah raised a point. They said the word sundus and the word istabraq are not Arabic words. How come Al-Quran contain Arabic, non-Arabic words, even though Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us that this is a pure Arabic tongue? And this is one of the things that people attack the Quran with. They said, hey, who said it's Arabic? There is many words. قالوا كلمات أعجمية ليست عربية. And the answer for this question is as following. There is two approaches. First approach, which is held by Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah and supported by Ibn Jarir al-Tabari, Abu Ubaidah, Ibn Faris, a large number of scholars, but the most important figure here is Shafi'i. He said there is not a single word in Quran unless it's Arabic. He said even sundus and istabraq are Arabic words. And those linguistic scholars who claim that this is not an Arabic word, they have no clue. Because the only one who completely understand Arabic from A to Z are prophets. قال لا يحصي لغة العرب إلا نبي. There is no one person ever claim that he master Arabic language. How many words in the Arabic dictionary now? Huh? No. Ibn al-Ambari, which is like 600 years ago, he had 8 million words. They said it's 12 or 13 million words in Arabic in dictionary today. By the way, 2 years ago, in English, we celebrated 1 million. Just to say. So when Shafi'i said there is no one can claim that he knows all the words of Arabic. That's impossible. So he said this is Arabic words, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Qur'an and Arabiya, and Arabic Qur'an, وَلَوْ جَعَلْنَاهُ قُرْآنًا أَعْجَمِيًّا لَقَالُوا لَوْلَا فُصِّلَتْ آيَاتُهُ أَعْجَمِيٌّ وَعَرَبِيٌّ. So that's it. The Qur'an says that it is an Arabic text. Other scholars said, no, you can't argue that. Sundus is not an Arabic word. The structure of it, you can't argue those. They said, absolutely, we know it is a Persian words, and it's a Roman descent, or comes from Abyssinian language. But we say that these verses, the Quran is Arabic, is correct. But it doesn't mean, if the Quran in Arabic, it means that every single word has to be in Arabic. Even if there is one or two words in other than Arabic language, the root of it goes back to other than Arabic language, it's still considered an Arabic book. He said like a poetry, a lines of poetry written in Persian, and they have one or two words in Arabic. Nobody said this is an Arab poetry. It's still a Persian poetry. Urdu have a couple of verses, couple of words are Arabic. English, Spanish, have a lot of words in Arabic. Nobody said this is Arabic, this is Spanish, written in Spanish. So he said that's how it is. So it's in Arabic, even if one or two, three words are not Arabic. But here, As-Suyuti rahimahullah, in his book Al-Itqan, mentions something I found it very convincing. And this is the choice of the great scholar, his name Abu Ubaid al-Qasim, ibn Salam rahimahullah ta'ala. And also the choice of Ibn al-Jawzi. They said that these words originally from other than the Arabs, it's used by other than Arabs. So the roots of it goes back maybe to Persia or to Abyssinia or something of that nature. But it was commonly used in Arabic language until it became part of the language. So it is an Arabic word because the Arabs start using it a lot and it became part of their dictionary. Is that clear? قال كثر الاستخدام وشاع حتى أصبحت من مفردات اللغة. And this is something you will find mentioned by many of the Salaf, like Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, Sa'id ibn Jubayr mentioned that. The great Tabi'i Abu Maysara, he said, في القرآن من كل لسان. In the Quran you will find a word from each and every tongue. You will find a word to represent each and every tongue. And Wahab ibn Munabbih mentioned this as well. So you might ask, Shaykh Waleed, okay, why would you leave the pure Arabic words to an Arabic word, A'jami words? So why Allah didn't just replace Sundus, Istabrak with the way the Arabs saying it? That's right. He said, Arabic is the best. Why didn't you use what's the Arab used to refer to the Sundus and Istabrak? I tell you why. The Arab referred to the Sundus and Istabrak with multiple words. So Sundus is the thin silk that goes against your skin. How many words? That like 4 or 5 words. And it is from al-balagha, from being perfect in the way you speak. If you have 1 word, you use it instead of 4. So that's why the Quran uses Sundus instead of saying, oh, and they will be dressed with a garment that's thin like silk and goes against the skin. Istabra, khalas, got the point. That's why Al-Quran is basically making it very unique and very basically much better way of saying it. If you also notice, this is very unique for those who want to dig deeper in the verses. The verses start by saying that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have rewards for the believers. Very general. then start specifically mention some of these rewards that they will get. And this is another very interesting way. You make a general statement, then you go into the details. And also, Al-Quran always tries to build that balance between the reward and the punishment. It's very important to raise ourselves and our family based on that balance. We always think of reward and for as well punishment, because that's how you balance your life. Yes, you have a question before we go to the next verse. Why it is mentioned specifically green? Because it's one of the most appealing color. But they have many colors, but he just mentioned it. Is that means that this green color is something that loved by Allah more than other colors? No. It's just because it is a very appealing color, especially for someone living in the desert in the time of the Prophet or it's any green. Green in general is a very appealing color, is a very beautiful color. Yes. He's saying if somebody is very rich, would it be better for that person to buy an average clothes and the different donated? Or he buy basically expensive clothes for himself? No doubt, better is to buy average and to donate the money. Donating the money is absolutely better than just using it to yourself. That's something a reward for it. But it's also permissible for the person to buy expensive clothes for himself or herself.
We used to hear something when we were younger that Allah loves a person to spend wealth upon themselves.
Said Allah loves, Inna Allah yuhib an yara athar ni'mati ala al-abd. Allah loves to see the result of His blessings on your appearance. Yeah, but that's why we said he buy a moderate. He doesn't like go do bad or wear bad clothes. But again, if we say that he still take care of himself, but I don't need to go buy, for example, like I know a brother who have the ability to buy a $500,000 car, but he preferred to buy a $300,000 car and to put a $200,000 for donation. And I'm serious. Okay? So, sorry if the example is not relevant. Okay. Then Allah, yes. Tafadhal. Yes, Ibn Abbas radiallahu anh said, Inna ahl al-jannati yatazawarun. The people of Jannah meet each other in many occasions. One of it on Friday, where all of them go to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and in that valley they meet each other. All of them. That's number one. Number two, they meet each other other than that time. But how that works, that the higher ones goes down, not the other way around. So the one on the top goes down to visit the one on the bottom, but not the other way around, as Ibn Abbas radiallahu anh said. And in the class, inshallah, I'll talk more about that. Yes. No, nobody in Jannah will feel that sad or prevented. That's why in one of the hadith, the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said people will be sitting on chairs according to their deeds. Some of them are like light, some of them are like musk, like mountain. وَلَا يَرَى أَحَدٌ مِّنْهُمْ أَنَّهُ أَقَلُّ مِنْ صَاحِبِ. And none of them feel that I'm less than my friend. That's how the hadith goes. Nobody ever feels that. وَنَزَعْنَا مَا فِي صُدُورِهِمْ مِنْ غِلٍّ أي شيء من أنواع الغل. We purify their hearts from any kind of غل, jealous, envy, hatred, anything it's negative. It's completely pure heart. طيب. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned the story of the two men. One of them have this beautiful scenery, beautiful gardens that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bestowed upon him. وَضْرِبْ لَهُمْ مَثَلَ الرَّجُلَيْنِ, and put forward to them the example of two men. Here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling us this story of these two men, even though nobody asked about it. Yani the story of Al-Kahf, the people of the cave, the Prophet was asked about it. But this story, nobody asked about it. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought it right after the story of the people of the cave. Why? Because it has many examples and many lessons to be learned. Now you just heard a story about the people of the Kahf, so you're ready to hear Allah telling you, since you're open up for stories, another story comes. You know, it's like لله المثل الأعلى. يعني always when I tell my kids a story, the little ones, when I tell them a story, they want another story. You know, that's how kids, you know, how people, you tell the story, another story. If I tell you one story, you're looking for another story. That's natural. When I tell you a story about something, you're ready for the next one. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told them a story about the people of the Kahf. And now, listen, there is another story also I want you to listen to. And this other story is very, very similar to the situation of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and his companions and the kuffar and this story. Why? Because the kuffar in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, they did not like the Prophet ﷺ, they did not like his companions. For what? Because they see them lower than them. What's the kuffar proud of? Their family, their wealth, their power. And they say, Ya Muhammad, your friends are aradhil qawm, the slave and the poor and the weak and the broken one. So Al-Quran here brought this story because it's very similar to the situation of the believers and the disbeliever during the Prophet ﷺ, telling them that you cannot be proud of your wealth and your family and your numbers, because this is not what adds value to your life. What you should be proud of, something other than basically the money, other than the children, other than the family, other than the social status. What you should be proud of, the iman, the faith, the taqwa, the good manners, and the nature of human beings, that they always like to be proud of something. So Allah giving the believers something to make them proud of, which is something that's really of value. And also, this verse or this story shows the believers that though this man who had the wealth, had the most significant garden you can ever think of, that lasts forever, looks like, have every reason to last forever, Allah destroyed it in no time. So Allah telling the believer, don't ever be tempted or intimidated by how strong the kuffar are, how wealthy they are. Because all their wealth, all their power can be gone in no time. And also warning the kuffar, don't ever think because you have so much wealth, so much money, so much power, that it means you remain forever in power. In no time Allah can switch the situation. So it's a very good reminder for both sides. فَإِنَّ دَوَامَ الْحَالِ مِنَ الْمُحَالِ. I'll say that again. دَوَامُ الْحَالِ مِنَ الْمُحَالِ. Anybody can translate that? It's impossible for things to remain constant, the same. It's impossible. See, we say it in Arabic in 2 words. You have like a full sentence in English. Okay, so it's impossible for things to remain constant in the same way ever. It's impossible. Things has to change. طيب. Also, this been said, a reminder for the Jews. The Jews said to the people of Mecca, go ask Muhammad about what? About the caves and the story of the cave. Allah said, I have another story for you. Because at that time, so many of the Jews, they basically, or at that time, Jews express so much love, so many of them, for wealth, even if they take it from haram. They don't care for halal, haram. They know in the Musa's law, selling them, that's not allowed to do this, not allowed to do that, but they cheat. وَتَرَى كَثِيرًا مِّنْهُمْ يُسَارِعُونَ فِي الْإِثْمِ وَالْعُدْوَانِ وَأَكْلِهِمُ السُّحْتِ لَبِئْسَ مَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ وَأَخْذِهِمُ الرِّبَا وَقَدْ نُهُوا عَنْهُ وَأَكْلِهِمْ أَمْوَالَ النَّاسِ بِالْبَاطِلِ. The first one in Surah Al-Ma'idah verse 62. The second one in Surah An-Nisa verse 161. Allah is saying how they start dealing with usury, which is forbidden for them, taking money that doesn't belong to them, cheating. So because they're obsessed with money, with wealth, to the extent that because they have so much money, they said, Allah is poor and we are rich. A'udhu billah. So Allah warning them in this story from being misled by the wealth that they have in their hands. Don't let the money take you astray. Don't let the wealth take you away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's path. And there is no harm to say that this story benefit both the Jews in the time of the Prophet and the Kuffar in the time of the Prophet and everyone else. Also, this story of a man who Allah gave him all this power and wealth, and a man who has nothing, basically, no power, no wealth, no family, no children to protect him. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala switched the situation. This person lost everything and lost all this power in no time. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, this is the same thing of the story of the people of the cave. These young men who went to the cave, they have no power, they have no money, they have no wealth, they have nothing. Where is the influence with their people? Or the king and the soldiers? But in no time, Allah also changed the situation. He gave those people power over those. So here, again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in both stories telling us that the outcome is always good for the believers and bad for the disbelievers. That's a constant message, keep repeating itself again and again and again and again. The story of these two men is simple. One of them has Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give him two beautiful gardens and have given so many reasons for these gardens to be the best gardens ever you can think of. They have many different type of trees protected by a set of palm trees around it, surrounding the two gardens. And in between the two gardens, there is a river runs. So the water is provided year long, all the time. And instead of him realizing that this is from Allah, a blessing from Allah, and be grateful and thankful to Allah, he didn't recognize that. He thought that his wealth will remain forever. His wealth make him make him block his eyes from seeing and appreciating Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And yakun shakir lillah. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala warned him through that young man, or that his friend, the poor person, start reminding him of Allah, asking him to repent, not to deny the day of judgment, and reminding him of the one who gave you can take it away from you. But he didn't listen. And happened exactly what he was worried about. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَضُرِبْ لَهُمْ مَثَلَ الرَّجُلَيْنِ. Inshallah, we will continue, give you time for getting ready for the salah, and we hear the adhan, because 9 o'clock we pray. We will stop here, and inshallah we'll continue next week with the rest, with the story, inshallah ta'ala.